It
they
seemed like
say.
since I was in the hospital in January, I lost weight, so I thought that might be why.
Yeah, that's
But I
helping
went
too.
down to 150, 155,
Oh, mercy.
and I used to got about 170.
Wow.
Do this then,
What's that?
we can do this after, roll call?
It's up to you. Yeah, it's so that you can out. I
Okay.
probably won't stay for the meeting either, 'cause I'm not feeling great. So I'll probably leave after.
These two things passed.
I don't know, you can either go after roll call.
Well, there was an email that the school passed their,
They did. Don't recall the,
okay.
yesterday, today.
I think it was yesterday.
He'd like to be on that committee if
Oh,
they have
okay.
somebody, he's asking.
That's assuming people have questions.
Miracle.
I mean, it would be good just to go and get that down.
He said they had a special meeting passed.
Now, yeah, I don't know if there's any restrictions as far as, I know Brent said he wanted to be on it.
He did?
Brent?
I'm good.
I know. How, and like, since Donovan's on the school board and Brent's on city council, can you be on both?
You
or
probably can.
Somebody will be checking that.
He gets so different with this. Nothing wrong, but just. I got
So
to
what
throat
else
tonight
is-
too.
Oh, I didn't until I came in here. You got me all choked up, I guess.
How's business? Slower, yeah.
Been, it's just been kind of weird. Pretty good. I just did a new one
Now,
today.
Messenger now.
Yeah,
No paper at all. Now that everybody sees Facebook.
yeah. Facebook is free and that is nice,
See,
but
what's her faces, you, that might be what calls the press.
Roll call, you said?
What'd we do tonight?
well, and the messenger.
I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I didn't know if they did all they could. I don't know that they had someone selling advertising.
Yeah.
You know, I was in what I was always in, and they just.
You must have
emailed
toddlers
me
around here.
again, But I don't know how much new
Oh,
advertising business. they
I'll put it back.
enter. I don't know.
Not loving
Evening, sir. How are you?
Good, you?
Bad.
Since the president, that's what's been going on, and I just don't know. They should strengthen people, and they don't hear that.
Oh, they don't?
Huh?
I used to think that. This is just too big.
Well, hello there. Ooh, Jesus. Sorry. Really close.
No, he's down there. Yeah,
You must have just said that.
he snuck in.
This time my turn read fast.
Cooper Love! Yeah.
I should have checked that a little closer before I left.
I don't know. I'll have to think of that.
Yeah.
Back room again, that's what keeps talking to
You ready, Shane?
These things.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk, can we have roll call?
President Peters,
Here.
Mr. Eads,
Here.
Mr. Hayes,
Here.
Mr. Hipp. Here. Ms. Jackman,
Here?
Mr. McDaniels.
Here.
Mr. Stahl,
Present.
Ms. Trainer.
Yes. At this point, I would like to move to enter into an executive session to consider confidential information related to the specific business strategy
of an applicant for economic development assistance pursuant to ORC 5709.43. I would like to invite the law director and counsel Emmett Kelly to join us in that session,
Second.
please.
Mr. Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Hitt,
Yes.
Mrs. Jackman,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels,
Yes.
Mr. Stahl,
Yes.
Ms. Trainer.
Yes.
I'm starting another month.
Yeah, I heard it. Good, how are you? No, it's the same one. Good, how are you?
I serve the State Tax Credit Authority and the Convention Center. I'm lucky if I get a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sharp elbows.
I'll bring it home.
Yeah, you're right. Sir, appreciate you. Hey, man. Keep it going. Thank you, Emmett. Sorry about that. Walk back mine. Oh, no. Always good to see you. Love to come out and grab, well, one day when you're around, let me know.
I'm sorry about
One day when you're gonna come and rub elbows with those other people. Well, you get out here for athletic events and stuff like that.
Everybody stay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks, sir. Yeah, we need a motion.
209 is the one that we need to amend both, don't we?
Do we have a motion? I move that we exit executive session, enter back into regular council.
Second.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Hitt,
Yes.
Miss Jackman,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels,
Yes.
Mr. Stahl,
Yes.
Miss Trainer,
Yes.
Mr. Eads.
Yes.
Okay, on to minutes. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at the minutes? Any corrections, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of passing April 17th minutes?
Aye.
Pose same sign. No public hearings, no communications or announcements. We do have some audience concerns. Tonight, we'll start with Anita Likens. If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. Anita Likens, 157 East First Street. I do not have a concern. I just have an announcement with, today is the National Day of Prayer. This originated in 1952. It was a resolution by Congress, and then President Harry Truman put it into effect. All are welcome. I was not necessarily invited. Everybody is there that can come. But thankfully, the heavens held off on the rain, but it was a good program. It was a pleasure and an honor to be there. One of the speakers, though, mentioned, and I thought it was a great point, that you do not need a special day of prayer. You can do it any day, and you can do it anywhere. The program itself contained patriotic music, hymns, dignitary comments, and prayer by local church leaders. It glorified God and asked for protection of our country. It asked for protection of our state, our municipality here in London, and individuals including the family, unborn, the elderly, first responders, law enforcement, present militaries, personnel, veterans, businesses, farmers, leaders of government, local, state, and federal, those dealing with physical and spiritual needs, the homeless of London, and those with drug addictions and with their families. And finally, for the local churches, the pastors and the families. Our own mayor, Mayor Closser, and the West Jefferson Mayor Ray Martin spoke of the importance of prayer, the need for prayer, and the focus of prayer in their own lives. Mayor Closser, I'm sure, will speak of it a bit more later, but he also spoke of the need to be willing to do and address when you see needs. And I agree. I thought it was a goal that we should all have, that we all need to be engaged. You've heard me speak before that local involvement means national impact. Now, I missed his specific passage that he referred to in the Bible, but I believe there are many references in the scriptures for looking out for those in need and for those suffering injustice. Do justice and righteousness and deliver from the hand of the oppressor him who has been robbed. That's in Jeremiah 22, verse 3. That emphasizes the importance of actively correcting injustice. Seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's cause. Isaiah 1:17. And Proverbs 31, 8 through 9 says, call for those with a voice to speak for the voiceless and judge fairly. So we're to actively address unfair concerns and situations. And finally, Amos 5:24 calls for justice to roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream, emphasizing the need for continuous pursuit of fairness. We're to correct injustice. We're to address unfair situations. And we're to have the pursuit of fairness on a continuous basis. That's a high order for all of us, for us a municipality, for a state government, for a federal government. I know I was convicted. I hope that we all are. We all must bear responsibility to speak up and act when we see injustice in our society, here in London. We need to be aware. I know I was convicted because I believe that I get so lost in my own world, my own concerns, that I forget to look around at the needs around us. For those incapable of protecting themselves, the Bible asserts that ultimate authority rests with God, and we can trust that. He will judge, and he will judge fairly. But he also delegates authority to various spheres of life, including the family, the church, and, as we mentioned, the government. Each sphere has a distinct role and responsibility and should act appropriately in their capacity, especially when innocents and the weak suffer abuse at the hands of predators and bad actors. We must be aware. We must be active. We must be responsible. We must be mindful, because to walk away when it's on our doorstep is moral turpitude. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen, and I second that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we got Zahid Siddiqui. State your name and your address for record, please.
My name is Zahid Siddiqui. I live at 337 Mabel Court. I'm here on behalf of our Property Owners Association, the Brooks Edge Property Owners Association. Here in the audience, we have several of our members, and we've had meetings each year. We have a meeting, and we talk about different issues that our community faces. As you may know, Jacob Lane, they've started some substantial development behind the houses that exist beyond our association. And there's been, of course, a steady increase in traffic, a lot of construction traffic while the new houses are constructed, those types of things. The residents are concerned that people are not obeying the speed limit. So as a result of that, and at the request of our members, I asked the chief of police to do a traffic study on Jacob Lane. And they did so, and they released those results to us. The results were kind of inconclusive, but basically they decided that there wasn't really a speeding problem. But the residents are still concerned. There are many, many young children living on that Jacob Lane. I walk my dog there very frequently. I not only observe people exceeding the speed limit, they're looking at their phones, right? They're disobeying the law, basically. So what we are asking you to consider is to place a stop sign on Jacob Lane. About halfway there, up there, there is a road that is going to be constructed, or it's partially constructed already. It looks like it's going to connect to 56. I don't know exactly what the plans are, but that's what it appears to me to be. And so where that road comes in and meets Jacob Lane, I think it would be appropriate to place a stop sign for traffic coming from Garfield Avenue, headed north, if you will, on Jacob Lane, and a stop sign, from that road that comes onto Jacob Lane, and then have a three-way stop sign, the third stop sign being the traffic heading south. So that's our request. We would ask you to consider that, and I believe that it is a city street. It's dedicated to the city use, and it's within your jurisdiction as council to study the issue and to make that adjustment, that stop sign at that intersection. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Up next, we have, say Michelle Stewart. Last name's kind of, can't read it, sorry. If you can address, name and address for the record, please.
Okay. I'm Michelle Stewart, and I also live on Jacob Lane. So I kind of live 315 Jacob Lane, sorry. I kind of live right in the middle of Jacob Lane. There's a slight hill coming down, and it's kind of a blind spot. So that is where everyone is flying by. I'm not sure how the police said that there wasn't really a speeding issue. My husband, he works from home, so he sees stuff all day. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old daughter, so we're always outside playing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen people going 50 miles an hour plus through this neighborhood. And it's supposed to be 25. There's no way they're going 25. Like, I would say 35 on average. I know this past year, a neighbor's dog has been hit and killed by a speeding car. I see, like they said, speeding cars on their phone all the time. I see a car flying down, and when they go by me, I see that they're looking down on their phone. I've seen speeding cars probably on their phones, almost hitting parked cars on the street and almost colliding with cars coming against traffic with them. There's kids everywhere, walking and playing, riding their bikes. Balls are going out. Cars just keep flying by. They rarely slow down, rarely stop. Some do, but not many. A kid's out there playing on the road, and people are still flying by. There's multiple times that I'm backing out of my driveway. I'm looking left, looking right. I see absolutely no car coming. Then all of a sudden I pull out, look in my rearview mirror, and there's a car almost rear-ending me with my 2 daughters in the back seat. I have a personal story. In college, I ran track and field, and a teammate and I were out on a run one day, and unfortunately, she got hit by a driver who was going 30 miles an hour, and he was texting and driving. She shattered lots of bones in her body. Her career, she was a Division I collegiate athlete, and her career was completely over, and her life got completely flipped upside down. So that driver was going 30 miles an hour, and there's no way that these cars are going 30 miles an hour or less. So I am just asking you guys to please do something before a tragedy happens. That was traumatizing for me to see. Can you imagine a kid getting hit in the neighborhood and other kids seeing anything for the parents? So please, anything. Stop signs, speed bumps, something before something happens. So that is all I have to say. So
How far is it from when when you start north on Jacobs Lane from Garfield to Z, the intersection that you're contemplating, how far of a distance do you think that is? I wonder if, like, traffic calming wouldn't be more effective. That way you've got several reasons to slow down before traversing 3/10 of a mile or almost a quarter of a mile. Rather than a single stop sign, other traffic calming speed bumps or things that'll calm traffic, yeah.
Anything that'll help, so.
Can you come up to the microphone? We got fans going on back here. It's very hard to hear.
If you would state your name and address for the record.
Yes. So my name is Michael Arp. I'm at 325 Jacob Lane.
Can you, sir?
Speak into the microphone.
Yeah.
So my
There
name
you
is
go.
Michael Arp. I'm at 325 Jacob Lane. I work for the Sheriff's Office of Franklin County. And I can tell you personally, I've stopped a number of cars because they're getting close to 50 miles an hour. And that's me personally stopping them. And only traffic stop I've seen there is Madison County. I'm not saying that the other guys aren't doing their job, but there's plenty of opportunity. I don't know what the answer is, but I can tell you from personal experience and somebody that does the job, the opportunity's there. And it's the same people over and over. Amazon Prime drivers are awful. And they're typically in their personal cars. I don't know what the answer is. But whatever we're doing right now, it's not working. And I've seen enough bodies this year. I don't want to see it on my street.
Thank you. I'm sure Public Safety Committee will discuss this. I'm sure Safety Service Director will be on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, on to committee reports. Greg?
The Personnel Finance Committee had a special meeting today to discuss an item that's going to come up later, revising the job description for the executive administrative assistant for the administrative offices. I did ask prior to this meeting, I asked the law director if we could put that on the agenda, knowing that we were going to have a special meeting. We went ahead and put that on. I sponsored it, so that will come before council for first reading tonight. Also, as the chairman of finance, I'm not going to go into great details, but there was an audit done by the state of Ohio. There was a Zoom meeting today. I was able to join the Zoom meeting and listen to the audit concerns. And quite honestly, we'll let Ms. Combs answer that or address that later. But it just turns out that the audit seems that it wasn't nearly as dramatic as I thought it was going to be. It was not a slap on the hand. It was, hey, there's just some things I think you need to improve, or a couple suggestions on how to do things. So I was glad to hear that. So we'll let Ms. Auditor Combs address that here in a few minutes if she'd like to in the city official report.
Brent, do you have anything?
13th, public service, 5 o'clock over here, public safety. I'd like for these people to come to public service and talk about these speed bumps and stop signs, because I've brought them up before at these meetings, but nobody seems to be interested in speed bumps or that. So, 5 o'clock here.
Thank you. Rich?
Yes, Safety Committee meeting will be the 13th at 6 o'clock. Next room, right next door here. All of you that spoke tonight, Michelle, Mike, Sadek, if you'd like to come, I'd be glad to have you. And we'll talk about this situation you've got going on up there. I've been out there a few times myself, and it is, I've had a couple cars pass me, and I thought, man, they're going kind of fast. So we will definitely address it, though. And that meeting starts at 6 p.m. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Andy?
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear Brent or not, but the Public Service Committee meeting is at 5 o'clock on the 13th in the meeting room next door. And he was inviting anyone that's wanting to address speed bumps or stop signs, you could come to that meeting. 5 o'clock on the 13th.
Anything else?
That's it.
Shannon?
Nothing to add, thank you.
All right, John?
I have nothing.
Lisa?
Nothing further.
All right, on to city official reports. Pat?
Thank you, sir. Just to let you guys know, all the meetings are posted on our website, londonohio.gov, as well as our social media, London, Ohio government, right? Or City of London, Ohio. Sorry. I'm going to make it brief. I know we've been here a long time already. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Appreciate you guys coming and speaking. April was a busy month for us. Just want to talk about some of the things I was able to attend. City Schools Fine Arts Show. I was the bingo caller for Phi Beta Psi's kitchen bingo that raises money for cancer research. Quite the event if you've never been to it. Attended some Easter egg hunts. At the last council meeting I missed because I was the referee for the Madison County Tigers versus the City of London Police and the Fire and EMS Department. And as usual, the Tigers whooped up on us pretty good. We had our adult Easter egg hunt, and all I can say is wow. I want to thank everyone that came out. I want to thank the sponsors of that inaugural event. We definitely learned a few things. One thing is we need more eggs, and we need a bigger hunt area, and we're talking about doing some things where, you know, they do it for the kids for age groups, and we were talking about doing a 60 and over and disabled section, and then all the crazy 40-year-olds that took off running like they was running when they were 16 years old. There was people doubled over breathing after it was done. But all in all, it was a great event, and I want to thank all the volunteers who helped put that on. That was a new event by us, by the City of London. I did MC the Junior Achievement Wine and Women event. A lot of fun, raised a lot of money for that program. We were able to bring in over $20,000 for that event. So a great event. Thanks everyone that came out and the sponsors and volunteers for that. And then today has been a day. I got up and Eve and I went and did the London Middle School Life Fair and then immediately left there. And as Mrs. Likens said, I went to National Day of Prayer, which was a very nice event, and did the welcoming remarks and got to see my buddy Ray Martin, Mayor Martin. Left there, straight back out to the high school for senior signing day. So I want to tell all those seniors congratulations. It's just amazing to see how many of them are doing different things and going different places, but that they had that senior signing day event, and they invite me out to that every year, and it's quite an event. They bring the 8th graders in and the 5th graders in to watch it and, you know, kind of let them see what they have coming up next in a few years. So wonderful event, and then I get to come to City Council, so it's just been a fun-filled day so far. So, but congratulations to those seniors. Congratulations to London City Schools seniors, all the seniors in Madison County, and best of luck in whatever they decide to do. The comp plan, we did have our open house for the comp plan. I was unable to attend that, but I've been attending all the meetings. But some good things that came out of that is people are starting to reach out to me a little bit. So I've been setting up some individual meetings and having them come in and talk to me, and we go over the comp plan. I went and had lunch with somebody and talked about it a little bit, and actually a few lunches about the comp plan. So that's been real nice. Was able to speak to some developers. Looks like we have a couple other things coming down the pipeline, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as that comes to fruition. Before I go into the fun fact, I do want to say that a lot of rain out there, and a lot of rain and a lot of sunshine brings what? Tall grass. Every year, I ask the citizens mow their yards, so we do not have to come after you and mow them for you and find somebody to mow them, and I get call after call about people's tall grass. Mowing season's here. Please mow. If your neighbor needs help, help them out. Help mow their yard, but please mow your yard. Now on to the fun fact, which is 180. That's how many London City School second graders will be visiting us tomorrow. As you can tell, this is not usually how City Council Chambers looks for you that are new here, but we have our COSI's theme event. It's a wonderful event. COSI is a great partner to us, and we bring in different exhibitors, and the kids get to walk around and do some hands-on stuff and STEM and STEAM, and we have a lot of great people here coming tomorrow, and then we give them all their little COSI box, their lunch box that has experiments in it that they can take home and do this summer. So just want to thank Mrs. Breedlove. She pretty much heads this up by herself and does all this and gets all this together. But it's a great event. We have kids from St. Pat's coming in too, and then we invite homeschooled children to come in. We've invited other schools to come in. So just a wonderful event, and thank you to COSI for their partnership. Their big science celebration is this weekend on Saturday, so feel free to go over to that. And then the second graders come here, and then they go to the fire department, go to the police department, and make a whole day of it and go and have lunch. So it's just great. It's great community outreach and awesome to be partners with the school. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kenna?
Like Greg mentioned, we met with the state auditors this morning via Zoom. The law director was in attendance, myself, Sue Mosier, the treasurer. And so they have provided draft findings for our fiscal year 23 audit. There's a couple non-compliance issues or concerns or what have you, as well as a couple verbal recommendations. We are going to work obviously thoroughly on correcting internal controls and policies to become compliant. A few of the issues have already been resolved because I've become aware of them throughout their audit and testing. Apparently it's very common for them to test differently than our previous auditors. That was a concern of mine because most of these things have been in place for, I've been here 5 years, but it's been eons of the way things have been done at the city. So we just have some tweaking to do internally to become compliant. So I will get all of those details and fine-tooth comb you guys with comments and how we are working to resolve those issues moving forward. Do you guys have any questions for me currently? I too walked away, sorry to interrupt you, I too walked away, like Greg had mentioned from the meeting, less concerning, that they made it seem like these are issues that they find and didn't see an issue with us correcting them moving forward.
I did have, even though I couldn't attend the meeting this morning, I was given the letter that was provided outlining their various concerns, and it seemed like most of these can be adjusted in-house with a couple policy changes, a couple, maybe, a lot of it was putting in additional, just general security.
Correct.
Corrections with especial regard to password protection.
Yep.
And then I guess my ultimate question was, do you think that any of these recommendations, in order to comply with them, are going to take anything other than internal adjustments, or do we need to hire in any kind of outside service?
No, I have no concerns about that. Just internally, I think we can correct all of them moving forward.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. On to old business. Up for 11th reading, ordinance 209-24. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 209-24, declaring the improvement of certain real property located in the city of London, Madison County, Ohio, to be a public purpose pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 5709.41, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, designating improvements that once made will directly benefit the parcels for which improvements is declared to be a public purpose, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing an urban redevelopment tax increment equivalent fund, authorizing the execution of a tax increment financing TIF agreement, and providing related authorizations pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Sections 5709.41, .42, .43, .832, and .85.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend this ordinance from the version that we have here in our council meeting to the draft, I'm sorry, the version that was circulated earlier today that reflects the necessary update, which is the approved school compensation agreement. The London City School Board did have a special session. They met earlier this week, passed the compensation agreement, which is a necessary attachment. Was there another amendment that I need to address?
Not until the next piece of
Okay, so that's just, that's the only one on the TIF. So it's actually not changing anything about the language of the ordinance itself, it's just the attachments, if I recall correctly, other than maybe to insert some days of passage that compensation agreement so mentioned.
I'll second.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, what are council's wishes?
Move to adopt.
Second.
As amended.
As
Ms.
amended.
Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 209-24 has finally passed.
Mr. Clerk, you won't have to read all of that again.
I've gotten so good at it.
Okay, up for a fourth reading, resolution 134-25. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 13425, determining that the establishment of the London Gateway New Community Authority will be conducive to the public safety, convenience, and welfare, and is intended to result in the development of a new community, and declaring the new community authority to be organized in a body politic and corporate, and defining the boundary of the new community district.
I would like to make a motion to amend this resolution to reflect, I'm not sure what paragraph it is, that the paragraph that addresses the board members to be appointed by the city, instead of leaving blanks with those names identified, that this resolution will be amended to permit city council 10 days in order to name its board members, not leaving in place the, at least one of those nominees must be with the consent and knowledge of the London City School Board.
Second.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Move to adopt as amended.
Second.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Resolution 134-25 has passed. On to new business, resolutions.
One question. May I ask a question? Please? Thank you, sir. No, I just had a quick question because that says within 10 days. Are you guys having a special meeting for that appointment or how?
If
Huh?
we can't get the appointments before that, yes, we'll have a special.
I guess I don't understand if you don't. You're appointing as a board, correct? As a council?
Right.
Is that how you're doing it? So you would have to have a meeting so everybody agrees on it? Is
We'll
that-
get with Jennifer. If we have to have a special meeting, we'll get a special
Oh,
meeting.
that's all I was asking. Yeah.
They'll probably have to do a special meeting, but at this point, we've talked a little bit about getting it published to start tomorrow on the website. They have some names to reach out to them. So there probably will be a special meeting, we don't know.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
On to new business, resolution 136-25. Can I get a motion to read by title and number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 13625, a resolution adding a new job description.
13625 is, the police department has asked for a police support specialist. This person will have lots of duties, some of which are encompassed by the dispatchers at this time, some of which have not been done for a while, or they've been administrative positions or administrative duties, possibly of the chief or the sergeants. So they're asking for the approval of this position so that they can start to hire someone in that position. And as you're well aware, the dispatchers will no longer be employed by the City of London very soon. That contract has been issued or is being worked on for this to give the dispatching duties to the Sheriff's Department. So they're asking for this to be an emergency. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at the job description. We don't necessarily have to pass it tonight if people want a time to look at this, but we will need to pass it soon, and we do as an emergency so it can go into effect the next day. Ms. Jackman, do you have a question?
We were just talking about reviewing the job description. I
Oh.
would like a little more time to do that if we could.
That's perfectly fine if you want more time to review the job description.
Okay, we'll leave that on. On to ordinance 137-25. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second. Ordinance 13725, an ordinance for strengths on job descriptions.
Let me scroll down to that. So this also has to do with the support specialist for the police department. I do want to point out that the police department has asked for not one, but for two positions to be filled as a support specialist. There was a discussion at length at finance about this, that do we need two positions or not? The committee decided to go ahead and bring it to council with the two in there. However, the chief even indicated that if it was one full-time, one part-time, he might be able to work with that. Again, if you're going to review the position, we don't need to pass this tonight to increase the strength ordinance for that item alone. However, we may be discussing the strength ordinance for not just that. So I want to bring that up. If you were in the special meeting we had earlier, the mayor asked if we can increase the strength ordinance temporarily for a position as the administrative assistant. Increase that from now until July 8th. Ms. Breedlove will be, her last day of work is the 7th, I believe. So we can increase that position till the 8th so that the new person can be trained. So that being a little conundrum, if you want to pass this or amend the police positions from 1 to 2, or you can leave it as it is right now.
It's at 2 right now, right?
The support specialist in this ordinance is adding 2 positions for that. And the dispatchers are still included because as of today, we still have dispatchers. So we're not removing that position yet. And I'm going to ask the law director if she has a suggestion. How do we handle this? Since we have 2 separate items.
Legislation right in front of me, but the one is on the strength ordinance, you could amend in both lines. I mean, you certainly could go ahead and amend to allow a temporary strength ordinance for the administrative assistant. And then make, I don't know which you're going to do with the support specialist. You could leave that at 2, you could amend it, but the strength ordinance is one document, so you could amend it in more than one place, however you want it to be.
Thank you.
Well, I'll make a motion to amend the strength ordinance document to add a temporary administrative assistant position from now until July 7th?
8th.
8th. As a full-time position?
You're asking, is that a full-time? It'll be considered full-time for a short period.
Yeah, from now until July 8th.
Right, until whenever they hire someone until that.
Right.
And then that drops off and we're back down to 1. So if that's the amendment, this amendment, I'll second that.
Yes, well, and it's fine to do a temporary amendment. We'll keep it on a calendar and remove the second administrative assistant on July 8th from the strength ordinance. It doesn't have to come back to council at that point if you have an end date.
Is there a second?
I seconded.
You second.
Ms. Trainer.
Yes.
Mr. Eads.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Mr. Hitt.
Yes.
Ms. Jackman.
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Stahl.
Yes.
Mr. Clerk, you were shaking your head. Did you follow that? We're adding a temporary position.
I should have started calling votes and I didn't. That's why I was
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Now back to the original issue at hand was the 2 positions for police support specialist.
mean, my personal opinion is I'd like to leave it how it is. I think the chief had expressed an interest in having 2 positions in order to cover both shifts. So that's my position on it.
I would second that. You got two different shifts, got to have 2.
Well, I don't think the intent was to cover 16 hours a day. But the intent seemed to be from 7 or 8 in the morning till maybe 7 at night, so it was a 12-hour day. Okay, well, we do have an emergency clause on this, so I do believe.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
So I move that we suspend the rules, the 3 reading rule.
I'll second.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
No.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry.
I move to adopt as amended.
I'll second.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 137-25 is passed. On to ordinance 138-25. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 13825, an ordinance amending ordinance 19424 to reflect a range of salaries of department heads and non-union personnel.
So this actually just particularly pertains again to the police support specialist. I'll tell you, I contacted the clerk. I thought we'd had a discussion at the end of last year whether or not we wanted to go ahead and approve 3 years of salaries for people. I believe we at least had it, or I had a discussion that we didn't need to do it 3 years at a time. Clerk says that we did pass all 3 years at the end of the year or the start of the year. So what we're trying to do here is amend the police support specialist. It would show the initial salary range for 2025, and then also for 26 and 27, and each of those has a 4% increase built in.
Any discussion on this? Okay. We'll leave this on and go to resolution 139-25. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 13925, a resolution revising job descriptions.
13925 was previously discussed earlier this afternoon in the special finance meeting. The administration has asked for that position to be a few changes to that. The salary's not going to change. They've removed a few items that the administrative assistant or office manager no longer does, and adds a few, specifically numbers 6 and number 7. If you look at the documents that was supplied to us, and number 6 is a public communications focus, and number 7 is event support and engagement. They're asking that these items be added to the job description so that they can, I believe, so they can properly advertise the job and shows all the job duties included in that advertisement. They're asking for an emergency on this also, I do believe, so that they can post the job.
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule on it.
I'll second.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
No.
Mr. Stahl?
No.
Ms. Trainer,
Yes.
Mr. Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, this will stay on. On to ordinance 140-25. Can I get a motion to read by title number?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 14025, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution and delivery of a community reinvestment area agreement.
So this pertains to the addresses 36 through 42 on West First Street. It would allow the developer to have an exemption from property taxes that involve the improvements on those properties. They would be used for like Airbnb or special events or that type of thing. So the property tax would remain the same as it currently is, but any improvements, there would not be any increase on property taxes for up to 15 years.
Mr. President, item number 7 in the application, I contacted the law director about that because the date appears to be incorrect on that.
There was a revised document sent out.
Right, but we don't have that in this document.
No.
So that has been revised, so if necessary, I move that we amend to accept the current document, which has the correct dates on it.
We don't have to, since it was changed before the meeting, we don't have to.
But we don't have that here. Do we need to do anything with that or not?
We don't have to amend it, since,
Correction was sent out before it was read, so I think it's fine as it is. It was
Okay,
clearly a typo, was the year was on wrong.
okay, that's fine.
It is correct in the legislation, the hard copies that the clerk has and council has provided with the correction.
Do we have anyone here for that group tonight?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
On the past CRAs, was it because they had businesses and we passed those, do you know? With
We've
employment-
passed other ones for this group, because he's been doing a lot of renovating in the downtown area. At this point, this is the first reading on it, so there's still notices that need to go out for school board and whatnot, so it would be my recommendation just to read it, leave it on, so we can get those notices out.
Okay. Any other discussion on this tonight? Okay, on to roundtable. Lisa, I'll start with you.
I just want to thank the folks that came out today. It takes time out of your evening to get here and express your concerns, and we appreciate you being involved.
Thank you. John?
Same thing. I'm glad so many people come out. It's glad to hear different people's opinions and everything. And I'm also glad all the time and everything was put into these couple ordinances we've had on since October, I believe. It just shows that we thoroughly look at things and just don't pass things. Thank you.
Thank you. Shannon?
Thank you for coming out, especially with the Brooks Edge people. Do you mind sticking around for a couple minutes afterwards? That'd be great, thanks.
Andy?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and whoever's watching, showing an interest in what's going on in London. There's lots of changes coming, so I look forward to that. The next service committee meeting is May 13th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room next door.
Rich?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody coming out tonight. It's very important that you come out and speak what is bothering you so that we know we don't get out to all areas of the town all the time, so we don't know about different things. But when you come and tell us, we can start looking at things and try to get some things done. I want to thank all of our city employees for jobs well done. I think we've dodged, through prayer, I think we've dodged a couple bullets this week as far as the weather's concerned. Keep the prayers coming. It does make a difference. It does make a difference. Safety service meeting will be Tuesday, May 13th at 6 p.m. in the building next door. Thanks, sir, again, for everybody coming out. I appreciate it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, whoever's watching, and I look forward to seeing the Brooks Edge people at the public service meeting the 13th at 5 o'clock. I think your neighborhood isn't the only one witnessing this stuff going on, so thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
It's always good to see people here, especially people we don't see all the time. People have new interests, new concerns to bring forth to council. The finance meeting, I did not announce that earlier, is going to be May 19th. That'll be 5:30 in the meeting room next door. While we're talking about meetings, Mr. President, I know we somewhat discussed July 3rd would be a council meeting, and that's normally when we have.
We've already canceled that.
Okay, I understand that. But before that, the meeting before that is actually June 19th, which is a national holiday being Juneteenth. We may want to consider what to do on that night. I'd hate to go a full month without a meeting. We don't have to do anything now. This is just for consideration moving forward. Or if we want to have the meeting, that's entirely up to you. I'm just bringing that forward because I was trying to figure out when my meetings are going to be. And I happened to see it.
I say we still have it on June 19th.
It's a national holiday. They won't be here. Yeah, it's a federal holiday.
For now.
So if we move it to June 26th.
I'm fine with that. I just wanted to bring it up whether you take action on it tonight or not.
Since you brought it up, might
Might as well address that.
address it. Make a motion to move June 19th council meeting to June 26th.
I'll second that.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
No.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
So that meeting's moved from June 19th to June 27th.
26.
26th, I'm sorry.
I've heard of musical chairs, but not musical meetings.
I don't want to go.
Greg, you have anything else?
No, sir, that'll be it.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Our scheduled meeting for June 19th is now a federal holiday.
I just don't think we should go a month between meetings.
So our meeting the 26th.
June 19th.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
No, it's not. But it's also the night that we, in most places, a lot of places,